Hey guys, welcome to Crypto Mumbles, where we talk about everything crypto. My name is Peng, and thanks for joining in. Welcome to the sharing. I'll be chatting with Caleb. Caleb is a profitable NFT trader. He has quite the experience in the NFT field. So looking forward to hearing more from him. And currently he's also working on a very interesting NFT collection, but we'll get to that later. Caleb, how are you, man?
Oh, hello. Hi, Ping. Hi, everyone that's joining the call. Caleb here. So I've been in the NFT scene for probably like 6 months-ish. And I think also it's kind of like just a bit later, like after I've joined the CM group, right? Like I got a little bit jaded with the crypto coins and everything. I'm still holding everything for dear life. But I went into the NFT scene and I found like it's actually, for me, like my personal perspective is like it carries lesser risk than coins at the current landscape. So just finding my gold mine there, I'm just like another guy, just another crypto dude, like trying to make a living out of like some of the trades and like some of the coins that I hold, Yeah.
So have you been profitable from the get-go, or do you have like any losses?
So like profit wise, I think in the NFT scene, right, that there are like a couple of patterns that you can detect. Like it's kind of like a U curve. Like whenever something happens in the NFT scene, so like say when Ethereum goes up, the NFT goes down, right? So it's like an inverse relationship with Ethereum right now. So it's kind of like weird because like right now in OpenSea, like the transaction is through ETH. So it's kind of weird that there's this inverse relationship going on. So there are a couple of layers of like this profitable thing that you're talking about, right? Like say when you purchase something, then you have to go through the U curve of like when you first mint it, like through whitelist, when it goes to a public mint, the price will go down because people through public mint, like when they go through gas wars, when they buy like two NFTs, they want to sell one to cover their costs, so they'll sell it below the floor price right now. So you see a U curve right there. When the project actually launch, you will see another U curve there. And then like when it comes to near the whatever roadmap that the project is about, like say, oh, they're gonna go into mana, or they're gonna do some kind of staking, whatever. So you see another U curve there. It's kind of pretty similar to how coins is like on like whenever ADA announces something, it's kind of the same as for NFTs. It's like buy the rumor, sell the news kind of thing, because the roadmap or whatever that they want to announce, usually it under delivers. It under delivers from what it's supposed to do, or whether it can 2 4 3 4 5 4 10 fold of like the bullish mentality that people have because of this news. But I do find success in holding kind of long term, and in NFT scene, like 3 months is considered long term, right? I just want to be quite clear that for me, I'm just in OpenSea, so I don't go to Wearable, I don't go to Foundation. I mainly stick with the Ethereum chain. I don't go to the ADA chain. I don't go to the Solana chain. So mainly just because like I'm not very familiar with those chains, and for me, I feel like the OpenSea is where the whales are and where most people are right now, trying to make a flip. So in terms of profit, I made a few good trades. I bought in Doodles at like 1, and then I traded some there. I bought like Alpaca Cadabres. I can't really still pronounce that, but like I bought in like I think 0.2, 0.3 is about 1.5 now that they are going to launch like their stuff. So like usually for me, I like to buy two at least of a certain project, so I can sell one later on to cover my cost, and then I'll let the other one roll. Yeah. So in terms of like profit wise, like say for like my doodles right now, there are a couple of projects out there that can grant you certain utility, right? Say for doodles, I'm not intending to sell it anytime soon, because like the way that the NFT scene rolls right now is like if you own like a certain collection, right? Like say very specifically right now, if you own doodles, the utility that you have for Doodles is more than just holding the NFT itself. You gain access to a community. In the community, there's this alpha group, right? So the alpha group people, they are very active. So this is what they do, right? If you are a Doodle holder, you go reach out to any new NFT project, and then you let them know that, hey, I have a group of Doodle holders that wants to buy into your NFT. Give me 100 whitelists. I'll ensure you that that Doodle holders, we will hold your project, and then we will run a good distribution to your audience, right? So this distribution, what do I mean? Right, when you want to sell a collection, right? So I know like I'm branching out into like a lot of different projects. Sorry, not projects, a lot of different topics, right? But do stop me when I go too far. But I'll just pull back when I'm done saying my point. So like say for example, the distribution of your holders. So why is that important? Like right now in the scene, when people want to grind for whitelist, like all these people, they're like PAs, or like they are students and they are people who are not working, kind of. So that's why they have a lot of time to spend on the Discord. They have a lot of time to go and create the fan art or whatever like is the competition about. So doing all these activities and grinding and spending time on Discord will gain you a higher chance, or you'll be able to get a whitelist. So for those who don't know, like usually in a collection, right? You either can go through the whitelist way or you can go through the public mint way, right? So the whitelisted way means I choose you. You are one of the 10,000 people that will get it for sure, right? You just need to pay the mint price and you get one for sure. The public way is, say there are 10,000 and then, okay, 5,000, I leave it for public. So 5,000 pieces, right? If like 10,000 people want to fight for these 5,000 pieces, you go through this process called a gas war, right? So that's a separate topic. If you want me to talk into gas wars, I can go into it. But like these 5,000 people through public mint will have to fight for that 5,000 pieces. So this topic about like distribution of your holders, right, is really important because you don't want most of your collection to be held by young kids or people who are just looking to flip your project. So can you imagine like once you list your project, it goes online. But because young people, right, they just want to, they have no liquidity, you see. So like in order to maintain their liquidity, they have to flip your project and go to the next project. So they will try to sell your piece as fast as possible. They will undercut the floor, right? So once you reach this amount where the floor keeps on dropping and dropping and dropping, it's kind of like a coin, right? It reaches the capitulation phase, right? And then once you hit a certain amount, right, your project will be dead. Why? Because gas fees is so expensive in Ethereum chain, right? So if to purchase one of your NFT, I need to spend more gas than the actual price to purchase your NFT, then that makes no sense, right? So your project will die. Yeah. So when Doodle people, right, or a Doodle Alpha group people approach a project, right, and when they sell them, hey, give me 100 slots, 100 whitelist slots. Doodle holders, we have minimally, like right now, one Doodle costs like about 15 Ethereum, right? We have all the people in our group, right? We we 15 Ethereum we have one, and we still holding a Doodle. This tells you that 15 Ethereum to me is okay. It's okay, I'm okay not to sell my Doodle. So if your project is like maybe 2-3 Ethereum, I'm okay to hold it long term. I don't need to flip it. I don't need to be scared when it drop to 1 Ethereum or whatever. Cause like 我们算是 whale, quote unquote whale kind of thing. So then it becomes like when I hold a Doodle piece, it becomes very valuable for me to keep on holding it. Other than the fact that it keep on rising in value, right? That the fact that I every time there's a new project, I got a chance to get a whitelist for it. And then when a blue chip project comes in, I managed to get it right. It's an easy like 4-5 Ethereum flip, from whitelist. So you mint for like maybe 0.2, 0.3 Ethereum, and then once it mints out, you get a 5 ETH. Wow, that's miracles, yeah. Yeah. So like right now, there are a few projects that are doing that. MAYC, they have a good reach for that. They have their own alpha groups. They have their own mini alpha groups that branch out from the Discord, and then they are reaching out to people to do something like that. So there's a good chunk of groups and good chunk of like projects out there that are doing such a thing. And being in these groups and being in this like whitelist opportunities, right, is actually very, very profitable. Yeah. So if you know the right people, you're in the right groups, you own the right NFTs, right, you can continue to earn like quite a sum of money. Yep. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, thanks for that sharing. So I think it's actually quite interesting that you share about the flywheel effect, because it's something that I didn't really think of. So whereby new projects looking for good distribution, they will go for holders of blue chips because they have their liquidity and holding power. Then through the whitelist, through attaining more whitelist, then the doodle NFT becomes higher in demand because people want that first whitelist slots to newer projects, right? And then it just goes in a cycle.
Yeah, yeah, it's like a compounding effect, and then
Yeah,
that's why it keeps rising in value in that way. Yeah.
yeah. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so for the next question, it will be, what are some factors that you look for before you buy into an NFT project?
Right. So I think I'll split this question up into two different aspects. So one is like the practical one, right? What are the practical things in a project that people look out for in the NFT scene that is bullish? And then the second part is like personal. So why personally I choose like certain projects. So let's start with like the practical ones, right? So usually like for NFT projects, right, similarly to coins, right? If the team is doxed, right, that's the number one thing that usually people look out for, like whether it's doxed or not. And then the second thing, like just a bit on that point, like once you're doxed, right, people have more confidence in your project. And then people can look at the history of the founders, like what project has this founder worked on before this? What is the history? Does the founder have any history of success, right? Because that's a good indicator of future success. So the rest of the team, who are they? What do they do? You follow their Twitter account. What's the thought leadership like? What is their thought process like? And like knowing these people personally actually gives you a bit more confidence, because like and in the NFT scene, right, like a lot of projects are just very mysterious. So you try to go into like a few different new projects, right? Like you don't really know what they're about. Their roadmap is like a bit sketchy. Their AMAs is like so AMA art stands for ask me anything, right? Their AMAs, they are like ambiguous. You don't really know what's going on. Knowing as much information as you can about the project actually gives people the confidence in the project. So beyond the art itself, right? Like of course, like if the art looks good, that's full stop, right? It either looks good or it doesn't look good, right? So it looks good, then okay lah, that's good lah, good for you. More people can vibe with the art, and they feel happy looking at the art, then okay lah, good for you lah. Then you have like a pass point. But like so beyond that is like the whether the team is doxed, whether more information can be found by the founder, and like you can just do a basic LinkedIn search, basic Twitter search, then you get to know a bit more information about the founder, and then from there you can make a good gauge of like just based on the team alone whether it be a success, right? So second thing is of course like the team's vision. So a lot of projects, they want to go into Web3, they want to make it into a DAO, they want to let people stake the NFTs. I give you a few examples, right? Like say the original or the OG collections that are doing staking, right? They're like Cyberkongs with bananas and Cookheads with milk, right? So these are like still considered successful projects, but all the derivatives that follow, like plenty of derivatives that follow, all like they're saying, oh, we're gonna give you staking, you can earn certain coins or whatever, right? Yeah, they're all just going to shit, So like if your people don't hold the project, it's just not gonna happen. So how are you gonna create value for this project? Because people are not stupid, right? How does it continue to raise in value if like everybody continues to sell? That's just not gonna happen, right? So if your project by itself, it doesn't have like a clear roadmap, and then you're just gonna say, okay, I'm gonna let you stake it, and then you're gonna earn certain coin. Nobody's gonna buy into that shit anymore unless you have like a clear indication of what else you're gonna do? What else are you gonna do other than this? Like, we are not gonna buy into like some like DAO or like staking anymore, right? So if you're really new to the scene and you see it as well, like say you just like have this question mark in your head, and then you don't feel very confident with that. So like when founders or when devs they share like their roadmaps and vision, right? Like it's a good indicator to see like what their thought process is like. Like if there's no roadmap, just tell us there's no roadmap. Or if it's like it's just pure art, just tell us it's pure art kind of thing, you know? So the flaw when it comes out, right? Because you told the world, right? I told the world, hey guys, there's no roadmap, it's gonna be just pure art. Hey, it's gonna be pure art. So the world knows that, right? The world knows it's pure art, right? So when you come out, when the floor price comes out, the price is equals to this is just pure art, right? You know, right? It's pure art, right? So it's gonna be like, okay, it's gonna be 5 ETH. Means everybody look at this project and say like, hey, this project is nice. No, it's really art. No, it really makes me happy. And there are just some really rich people out there who are willing to pay 5 ETH for this. Then that's fine, right? So a good indicator is like whether you feel or you access to know whether like this project is gonna be good or not, or is gonna be successful or not based on the roadmap, and whether their roadmap can actually come to pass. The third indicator is following. Right, Twitter for NFTs, right, is like the place to be in, right? So if you want to be in NFTs, you need to be on Twitter, and not just on Twitter. You need to interact. You need to tweet a lot. You need to interact with projects. You need to know people. You need to interact with important people. So by important people, I mean like moderators, devs, founders, artists, right? All these people, they are in the scene, right? Get to know them, talk to them, like know what they think and do. And you know, in the NFT scene, if you know a certain person, it's just like real life. If you know a certain person, you can link a certain project up with another project. You can you can stand to win like a whitelist from that, just from that alone, right? Because like everybody in the scene, right? Like things happen so fast. When you start a new project, right, it probably is like 1 month, 2 months before you mint it out, right? So everybody is just like trying to grasp as much collaborations as we can. We're just grabbing here and there and then talking to people as we can. Certain projects is just so hard to reach because like they don't have their DMs on. So what do? We reach out to the moderators, we reach out to their admins, to people who have access to the founders. And if you do know certain people like that, then you're winning. You are providing value, and just by providing this value, you can succeed really. There is this niche that's going on, right? So Twitter following is the third indicator. So fourth indicator is trends. What trend is going on right now? So in the beginning, when NFT started and when Gary Vee shilled punks, like close to I think July last year, that's where like OpenSea. You go look at the OpenSea chart, right? You'll be able to see like the spike in purchases in NFT from like July, August onward is just like a very sharp parabolic move upwards. And then it just sustained there all the way until today. Right. So Gary Vee, when he showed CryptoPunks, there were a lot of like pixel art coming out. There were a lot of like 16-bit that is like any kid can do it kind of thing. And then people then were just thinking that that any 16-bit art can make it like CryptoPunks. So like everybody's just like really bullish on those. And then you start to see like all the apes come out, right? Like a lot of the apes and all the dude stuff coming up. But you know, the trend is moving towards like females and anime. And right now the trend is moving towards like animation. Right. So all the animated projects right now, they're gaining a lot of traction. Right now, the like Invisible Friends is gaining a lot of tractions. We are gonna make it interfaces that's gaining a lot of traction. And like of course the project that we're working on, which is Imaginary Ones, getting a lot of tractions. Because like this is like the demand of like what the industry is kind of craving right now. It's like they are done with like all the 16-bit, they're done with the hate or big kind of like trend, right? So yeah, it's moving towards this, and like if you move with the trend, like and catch these projects and aim for these projects to whitelist for, then I think like you can be profitable. So by hanging out on Twitter, you will be able to see like all these kind of trends and spot this kind of trends, right? So like I think like these four alone are like really good indicators. Of course, if you want to go even more technical, right? Like when the collection posts like their contract up, like if you take a look at their contract, right? Then there are certain contracts right now. I think it's like 725. I don't remember the number. So like there are like two particular contracts that is used widely by the industry, and Azuki recently made a modification to that to increase the efficiency of the minting process so that more gas is saved. So like if like a project is like really into this, right? Like they spend the resources and they try to make a difference, right? Like you just like you have a good feeling about it, right? Like they are serious in what they do. They were willing to spend this money and all that stuff, right? And even for the contract itself, like you can see some telltale signs of like good effort spent into it. Like the founders, if they are serious about it, usually they'll spend a amount of money to go and audit the contract. And once you audit the contract, you'll be able to see on Etherscan there is an audited contract, and stuff like that. So there is like this whole technical side of things that not really a lot of people look at, but like seasoned NFT traders, they do look at this kind of things to make sure that it will be a project to go for, right? Because there are a lot of cases where the minting portion goes south, and once your minting portion goes south, like say I'm supposed to be whitelisted, but I don't get to mint, or like people get to mint through the contract without even being whitelisted, and then they mint like 500 of your 10,000, right? Then a very large portion of this 500 can manipulate the price, and then people get angry because they are whitelisted but not get to mint. Yeah, so like if your contract is like screwed up, like your whole project is just gone. It doesn't matter how hyped your project is. It doesn't matter like how good all the other indicators are. Yeah, so like the people who read the contract, these like the seasoned NFT traders, yeah, they will look at the contract before they actually decide to mint for it, right? So personally, when I look at the project, I just need to vibe with it, right? Like when I buy something, I I need to know that like if one day it becomes a brick, right? Like if it goes to zero, right? Then it's in my wallet, right? Then I'll look at it and be like, okay, like, at least it looks good, lah, right? At that time when I bought it, um, I make the conscious decision that if it goes to zero, then at least I'm still okay. And I told you, right? Like if when I buy, I will buy at least two, so there will be like two bricks in my wallet. So that's the first thing, lah. When I buy it, then I will have to first love the art. Then the second thing is like back to the groups and all the alpha groups and all that thing, right? Like I'll just like hop around and then like just ask people like, hey, what do you think about this project? Or what do you think? Or do anybody know the founders and all that stuff? So think about like the Discords, right? There are like a lot of people, but there are a lot of people who are actually very helpful. Yeah. So the don't talk about the ones that have not minted yet, right? The ones that have not minted yet, right? There are a lot of fake nice people out there who just want to gain some like recognition to gain the whitelist. But if you talk about those that are post mint, right? Those post mint, they stay in the Discord and then they are holders. So like a lot of people know a lot of people within the NFT industry. The industry is actually not say very big, right? So if you like go into like the alpha groups and then you ask them, hey, what do you feel about this project? And then you find that 50 other people actually like, oh, they're quite bullish on this. So like, okay, let's 50 of us, let's go and ask them, see whether we can get whitelist or not, something like that. Or like just generally like, okay, everybody's bullish about it. So okay, or let's all go and buy this stuff. So like kind of like I will go and seek validation of like whether I feel like I am bullish about this project, then I'll just seek some validation, and if that's clear, then it's like, okay, go. Then I'll just buy two. Yep.
Well, that was quite a lot to take in. So to just very quickly summarize, on the practical side, you look at whether the team is docs. Then the second indicator would be utility, roadmap, vision. For the third, you look at the following on Twitter. Fourth, you look at the trend, which is now actually moving into animation. And fifth, whether the team is willing to invest in the technicals like the contract and saving gas or like auditing and stuff. Then for the personal side, you must love the art first because you'll be holding that when it goes to shit, if it does, right? Touch wood. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then secondly, you seek validation by talking to alpha groups and to get confirmation on whether the project is worth going for. So did I get these right?
Yep, that's exactly right.
Awesome, fantastic. Okay, so the next question would be a kind of futuristic question. So what are your thoughts on the future of NFTs? Like, do you see them going up and getting more adoption, or do you think that it's just a bubble and stuff like that?
I don't know. What do you think? So like, if you ask like my personal opinion, right? I actually have a very strong opinion on things usually, and like I feel that NFTs are just getting started. So I'm not gonna go into like Web3 or like mana and all that stuff, right? Like let's just look at now, right? Let's just look at now. Do you know that Twitter is allowing already a hexagonal profile picture with NFTs, and with and I don't know whether you guys actually feel like how powerful that is. That's actually really crazy already. um if like say like right now for me, like when I'm hanging out on Twitter, right, like when someone with a hexagonal portrait of like a doodle talks to me on DMs, I'll open that DM first. Yeah. Or someone with a BAYC profile picture with a hexagon profile picture comes and talk to me first, I will open that DM first. So there's really power in that. There's already like a certain level of influence certain projects already have, and it is already reaching the retail. Like retail people, they're already thinking like, what is this hexagonal profile picture that's going on, and what are these people going on about, and what's this thing that Serena Williams just bought? What is it that Stephen Curry just bought? What is it that all these celebrities are actually getting onto, kind of thing. And like, and like what people are like, right? They just want to like mimic celebrities as much as they can, or like, cause that's like the role model to be, or the dream to chase, right? So like for profile pictures and all, you can only have one profile picture in the end, right? So in the end, if you choose one, okay, fine, that's it. But where else is NFT moving towards, right? So Clone X collaboration with Nike, or like BAYC's collaboration with Adidas, and then you get to see like more and more big brands coming into NFTs. So like, it might not be like super crazy yet, but like the big brands like LV, they are coming in as well, selling like certain collections or collaborating with certain collections already, or trying to break into the scene, break into the NFT scenes. If the big brands are like freaking bullish about NFTs, I don't know, I don't know whether you should feel bullish about it as well, right? So this is just the beginning of what's to come, right? So we're not even going into like whether like Ready Player One metaverse is gonna happen, whether Meta like slash Facebook, where they're gonna bring like all these NFT towards, whether you can have like a gallery of like something, and then like make people come and pay money to come and visit your gallery, all those. Let's just take all those just away, right? Just by looking at where the big brands are going into, right? There's money to earn. Yeah. So if you ask me like how bullish I am, I'm like super crazy bullish.
Right, yeah, and actually, uh, something that I just read as well, right? The car brand Alfa Romeo, they actually adopted NFTs and blockchains into more accurately determining the residual life of the cars, because a problem that a lot of second-hand car buyers face is where the sort of odometer is tweaked to seem like the car traveled lesser miles than it actually did, and then prices get skewed or get jacked up due to that and stuff like that. So I think there's already a lot of different applications coming in. Furthermore, or one other application that I really like would be how NFTs are used in a ticketing system, like concert tickets, because organizers want to retain the power of, or want to get a share of the resale market, especially when there are so many resellers scooping up huge amount of tickets upon launch and then reselling it in a secondary market. So definitely, I'm with you as well, right? On the bullishness of NFTs, right? So for the last question, as you mentioned just now, they're actually developing an NFT product. So this segment would be for you to actually share what you're working on, what's this project that you and your team is working on, and what have you learned being on the developer side, and how are things different from you for you now?
Wow, that's a lot of question eh. You ask me one
Sorry.
question, I can really talk for 20 minutes eh.
Take your time,
Yeah,
take your time. Yeah.
right. So I think like just pull back like the question a bit like on how this whole thing actually really started, right? So we're just a couple of dudes, right? Like this is our real life job. Like we are an agency, and we do this for clients. We do marketing campaigns, we do microsites, and we do like some development for people and companies and MNCs. So it's just one day, one of like the founders, like he just like did this for fun, because like all of us, we are into coins, right? We are all the crypto dudes, right? And then we're like, hey, hey, let's just try it. Hey, you do NFT wow, NFT so hot now. Right? So we started and tried that, and before you know, right, it just blew up like really crazy, just in a matter of like 2-3 days. And then we start to get like big brands talking to us, and then influencers talking to us. People with like millions of followers start to reach out to us and ask us like how can they actually bring the project further. And then we started to decline them because like they don't really match our ethos. So it's been really like surreal kind of feeling, because like usually we're on the other end, right? Usually we are the one who go and reach out to the brands and say, hey, give me some business, hey, um, so now like when it flips around, and when like in business we have like this thing called like a buyer power or seller power, right? Or the supplier power. So like when people, like when these brands come to reach us, and we have some negotiating power, it does like bring the project like much further, and it can bring like much more potential to the project as we see it. um Into the project itself, like right now, honestly, the team, we are just like really focused on the art portion of the project. So that's just like really important to us, and honestly, that's just like the best thing that we are at, right? Like the best thing that we are at is to create this, and the fact that like everybody is just like okay with the art, or like vibing with the art. I think that's like good enough for us, that we focus on the art portion for now. So on the strategic portion, and like how we're gonna mint it, how we're gonna give out whitelists and all this, right? We are thinking about it, but we like more information on it will be released like during our AMA, and like more to come in later days. So there's one thing that you don't want to do, or that's like really taboo in like the NFT scene, is to overpromise. That's like the ultimate crazy, ultimate taboo. So if you ever like see a project, right, that overpromises in a way that they say like they have certain thing coming, right? Once they miss like the first deadline, you should consider dropping the NFT immediately already. So like missing like a deadline is like super crazy taboo, right? Because in the NFT scene, it just things just move so quickly. Like 1 week in the NFT scene feels like a year. So like if you miss like your deadline for like a few days or like 1 week, right? The sentiment is like the team is not really serious about what they do, or if they can't even deliver something small like that, like who knows like what's gonna come next time kind of thing. That's like the feeling, and people like just exaggerate things so much like in the NFT scene, right? So we're really conscious of that on like the over promising portion, and we're just taking things slow. and letting like the whole project settle down to a level first before we want to do any kind of like big announcements or like announce anything crazy that will break the internet and stuff. Um, but yeah, it's kind of like a crazy ride. And ever since this started, right, I think like all of us, we barely have like 3 to 4 hours sleep a day, right? And we're just like back in the office and then like go back home, sleep, and then the next day, like we go back home 2 a.m., 3 a.m., the next day, 7 a.m., come back office kind of thing. And we are all not very young already. So like a couple of us are like sick already, and then like we're still like pushing on. It's not easy kind of thing. It's not an easy journey so far because of like how fast things are rolling. But we're definitely excited for the whole project, and a lot of like Singaporeans actually reach out to us, like Singaporeans who hold NFTs or like celebrities, right? They actually reach out to us, and it's really cool, right? Because like they're like, hey, we are rooting for you guys. I are rooting for you guys because like you guys are like carrying the Singapore flag and like raising it high kind of thing. It's really nice to see, and it's still like very surreal for all of us, and it's just like 1 month kind of thing. Yeah. And like we just pray and hope that everything goes well and we don't get like sabotaged in any way, because like scams are everywhere, and like Discord hacks are like everywhere. So like a lot of like high profile hacks of prominent projects are happening. So we're just really careful on that, and like educating like our Discord right now to ensure that if anything happens, like don't do anything stupid, don't FOMO. There will be no stealth means and etc. So there are just many facets of a project to look at, and just like looking at all of them, like it can be like really stressful. That's why I gotta say, like, so far the journey is really rewarding, and you know I'm glad that I'm glad that this is happening, and it's really exciting for all of us, because like I told you, right, we're all crypto dudes, and like whether you can hear like how much passion I have for the NFT scene. Like God knows how much ETH I have burned, like trying to win a gas war, or like learning how to how to use MetaMask in the first place, right? If you guys like want a tutorial on that, like I can do that like for y'all, and like give y'all like a simple illustration of how to do that and how to win a gas war and all that stuff. Yeah, um, but yeah, we're just like a couple of like passionate NFT dudes that the dream suddenly just dropped on our lap, and we are just making it come true, lah.
Yeah, I think that there really is the drip there right now, and I guess the pressure is sort of on you guys as well with flying the Singapore flag in the internet like NFT space.
That sounds damn cliche, lah.
Yeah, but I mean it's really true. Like for some, there's this thing about Singaporeans, I don't know, but we 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 can complain about Singapore, oh I hate Singapore, always fine, everything. But when there's someone or a team flying the flag out there, then everyone is like immediately turn to support without hesitation.
Yeah. I do agree. I do agree. Yeah.
But definitely 100% supporting you. And oh yeah, so because Caleb forgot to mention, this project is actually called Imaginary Ones. So guys, please, please, please do go and support Imaginary Ones, Singaporean-based project. Yeah, and do look out for what's to come with them. Okay, so now for the final part, I'll just be opening questions to the floor. So if you guys have any questions you want to ask Caleb, you can raise your hand, then I'll allow you to speak.
Hello. Hey, thanks, Keller, for the sharing. I think that was a really great sharing. Yeah. Just wanted to ask, what are some projects currently that you are looking at and you are bullish on?
Wow, this question very sensitive, eh. Can y'all don't quote me?
No worries. Everything
NFA,
is NFA and
NFA.
do your own research here.
Yeah. So like the most hype project right now, like the most hype project right now is IF, right? So IF is done by this group called RCC. So RCC, they did initially when they did their like first two collections, which is like the Mood Rollers and the Slim Hoods, right? Like the demand was like not really high. I think like it was like 0.4, 0.5-ish there. Yeah, but once they collaborated with like some of known animators in in our scene, like in the design scene, right? These animators, they are really famous, right? Like and once that's done, they had this criteria of like, okay, if you own 2 slim hoods or like a total of 4, if you own like any number, right? Like 3 slim hoods and 1 mood roller, then you have a chance to raffle for like your IF NFT. And the price skyrocketed for like 0.4, like for these 2 collection for 0.4, it goes up, you end up to like 2 each, right? And IF is just like now really really sought after project, right? So there is like a few more. Karafuru just launched. Karafuru is like this like toy museum kind of thing. They minted for like I think 0.5 Ethereum for Dutch auction. I didn't even get to participate in the gas wars. Like I wanted to go in, but like the browser just like hanged on me. The demand was just too high. It's quite crazy because like the on open market it was really 4 ETH, but they are doing Dutch auction at 0.5. So the pricing there was just not very good. The remaining like 2,000 pieces sold out in like 20 seconds, I think. And average gas was 2.2 ETH, right? The last few transactions that went through, it was 2.2 ETH ish, right? So just put that into a little perspective to you guys. The is to mean two pieces, right? 2 pieces of 0.5, that's 1 ETH. So people are spending 2 ETH to buy something that's worth 1 ETH, right? So like Karafuru, I think like right now they're gonna review soon. So if you guys wanna take a look at that, you can like keep your eye on it to like snipe. So there's this thing called like sniping, right? Like you can snipe a certain rare piece like when it reveals itself, right? So you can camp on like OpenSea to check on like a certain project when the review happens, right? So for those of you who don't know, usually that's what happens when a collection mints, right? So there's a few days they allow people to do some trading in these few days for people to like FOMO into the project before they review the actual art project. So when the review happens, right, usually people will camp and then like snipe for like rare pieces that people like list. They have already listed, right? Like say I list it for like 3 Ethereum, right? And then I go to bed or whatever. So there are people who do like funny stuff like that. And then like when it reviews, right, it's actually worth like say for example 10 ETH. And then they never go and delist the thing. So like there are people who go and snipe for these things, right? So that's like Karafuru. There is a few other projects that there is WAGM interfaces, right? That's like a project. They don't have a Discord, and people are just like really they really like the art. They can vibe with it. So it's just like this like cute doodle face on a like interface that's behind. So interface meaning like those kind of like 404 error or like some computer chip background kind of thing. It's like really cute. You can check it out if you want to. I think it's like Serial Head. I think sorry, Serial Club. I don't really remember. I think it's called Serial Club NFT. So Serial Club also is like one of the slightly bullish one. People are quite optimistic about it. There's also Tasty Bones. So Tasty Bones, they are also kind of like a lot of people feel that it is bullish. So like if you really want to see like what are the projects that you should look at or should go into, right? You just need to pick like a few top ones, right? And then just look at who they collaborate with. So like usually like the big projects, right? They don't really want to collaborate with like the smaller projects, right? So like I want to elevate my already good status with like other projects that are also about around my range one. Makes sense, right? Makes sense, right? Yeah. So like you just go into any one of these top ones that that are really that people are looking at. Like this, you see that they have above like 100K followers on Twitter, and then just look at like the collaborations they have, right? And then that should be good ground basis for you to like search for more projects to look at. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So that's all the time we have actually. So just to wrap things up, thanks Caleb for this fantastic sharing. I think it was really quite informative and insightful. And also thanks to those that attended. So we'll be signing off here and hope to see you guys in the next sharing. And thank you, Caleb, once again.
Yep. Thanks for having me, man. So I know sometimes I just like go on and on.
Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Crypto Mumbles. Be sure to follow our Telegram channel at Crypto Mumbles and YouTube as well. So see you in the next episode. Take care.